Welcome to using Respondus to upload an exam into your course in Blackboard Learn. Respondus is a program available for instructors to create exams within the program, download questions from a test bank network, or to import questions from a text file and upload this test file that you've created in Respondus into your course in Blackboard Learn for exam purposes. If you have not already downloaded this software, the Respondus download information is located under the Utilities tab in Blackboard Learn. To begin using Respondus, you will first need to create a new Respondus file by clicking on the Create button in the Start menu. Provide a name for your file and a description. After you've provided a name for your file, you can click on the Edit tab, and here you can add questions manually if you wish to create a test within Respondus. You can enter a title of the question in Section 1, and in Section 2, you can place the question wording or the question text. Section 3 is where you will specify your answers for the question text. And in Section 4, you can specify the correct answer in the drop-down menu. In Section 5, you can provide the point value for the question. And finally, in Section 6, you can insert the question into the list by clicking on Insert into List. On the left side on the Edit Question screen, you will have multiple types of questions that you can utilize and create questions in Respondus. If you wish to use a test bank from a publisher, you can click on the Test Bank Network button. And here, you can search for a publisher test bank or register a test bank using a file code and password available from the publisher. Finally, you can also import questions from a text file. And for this video demonstration, we will import questions from a pre-typed text file. To begin this process, click on the Import Questions button. When the Import Questions box appears, you will select the type of file that you wish to import. You will have the options of plain text, rich text, Microsoft Word, and other file formats. It is recommended to create your questions in plain text versus Microsoft Word. If you choose to use Microsoft Word, please be sure that there is no formatting in the document, such as number indents. An example of what a Respondus text file should look at will look something like this. On here, you will have the question number, and in between the question number and the text is a single space. After that single space, you can type in the question text and enter one space between the question text and the answer choices. You can give letters with a closed parentheses next to the letter, or you can place a period, depending on the type of preference. And next to the correct answer, you will place an asterisk. As noted, in question 1, the correct answer is A. When you are ready to import your questions from a plain text file, click Browse to search for your file name. In Section 2, you can choose to create a new document or a new Respondus file if you prefer, or since we have already created a new Respondus file for Test 1, we will click Append Questions to the current document. After you choose the Append Questions to the current document, click Preview to have your questions previewed in the Respondus file. In the box at the bottom of the window, you will see that the text states No Warnings. Please note that there may be warnings in this box, and these warnings must be corrected in order for the questions to successfully import into the question file. The only exception to a warning that you can bypass would be multiple inferences of a question title. Duplicate question numbers and no answers given should be corrected prior to importing the questions. As noted, we have no warnings with this file, so we can now click Finish to import the questions into the document. After you click Finish, you can click on the Edit tab, and you can see that your questions have been successfully imported into the question list. To begin the publishing process to Blackboard, click on the Preview and Publish tab. On the left side, under the Preview and Publish title, click on Publish to Blackboard. After clicking on Publish to Blackboard, click on the Publish Wizard button to begin. When the Publish Wizard appears, you will have several options, such as publishing to a single course or batch publishing to multiple courses. For this video demonstration, we will publish to a single course. In Section 2, you can choose an existing server, or in most instances, unless you have used Respondus in the past, you will need to click on Add New Server. From there, Respondus will tell you that there are pre-configured settings that are available for Purdue. It is recommended not to use the pre-configured settings and instead to enter the server settings manually. Once you click on Enter Settings Manually, you will be taken to the Blackboard Server and Course window to begin the manual server addition process. For question 1, it instructs you to open your browser and go to the Blackboard login page and to copy the URL address. In this instance, it is the My Courses page at the main login screen. Here, you will copy the URL at the top of the window and come back to Respondus and paste it in the Section 1 box. Question 2 instructs you to go to a course that you have instructor rights to and copy the address into the box below. In this instance, we will navigate to a course that has instructor rights and we will copy the URL at the top of the screen. We will come back to Respondus and paste it in the second box. Step 3 tells us to press Extract, in which Respondus will fill in whatever information is needed into the boxes to the right of the Extract button. The final step you will need to do is enter a server description and your username and password. If you are using a shared computer, it is advised to not click Remember My Username and Password. Otherwise, you can check the box if you are using a personal computer. Please note, if Remember My Username and Password is not checked, you will need to enter your username and password each time you wish to publish your test file to Blackboard. After you've entered all of your information for the server, click OK. Your new server will now be listed next to the Blackboard server title, and you can click Next to connect to the server. After you connect to the server, you will select the course that you would like to publish to. And in Section 2, you can choose to create a new exam or a test question pool. For this video demonstration, we will create a new exam. In Section 3, we can choose the options for the exam or survey, such as applying random blocks to the exam if you have placed them in the Respondus file, applying settings to the exam, and linking the exam to a content area and making it available. It is recommended to not link the exam to a content area and making it available. This is not recommended because in case you wish to preview your test prior to deploying it to your students, in this instance of not linking the exam to a content area, you can double check the exam file prior to making the test available and deploying it to a content area. Once you have chosen all of your settings, click Next to begin the publishing process. Respondus will then begin to upload the questions, and please note, depending on the number of questions within your exam, it may take a moment for the file to upload. Once you see the completed successfully text within the window, you can click Finish. Thereafter, you can close Respondus and go to Blackboard. Now that your test has been uploaded into Blackboard, it is best to check to make sure that it uploaded successfully. To do this, you can scroll down to the control panel and click on Course Tools. When the menu expands, scroll down and click on Tests, Surveys, and Pools. Click on Tests within the Tests, Surveys, and Pools menu. You will now see that our Test 1 that we have uploaded from Respondus has successfully been loaded into the course. However, please note that in the deployed column, we see the text No, which means that while the test has been loaded into the course, it has not been deployed or located to a content area. If you would like to check the test prior to deploying it to a content area, you can hover your mouse over the test title, click on the drop-down arrow, and when the menu expands, you can click on Edit to view the questions. This has been using Respondus to upload an exam to your course in Blackboard Learn.